Minister, we're halfway through this 4-week or 1 month tighter restrictions. Are we on track to emerge from the restrictions in 2 weeks?
We are firmly on track to living with COVID-19, and we are committed to COVID resilience. This time, when we have tap on the brakes, this allows us a time to slow down the growth in the number of COVID-19 cases and give us more time to allow our healthcare facilities to be ramped up, as well as a shift towards a home recovery program. And I think this is our strategy to living with COVID-19 over time.
Living with COVID-19 also requires travel without quarantines. What's the outlook for vaccinated travel lanes? Right now, it's only with Germany and Brunei. What are the prospects for more countries to be included?
Thanks. That's a very important question. We have started a pilot of vaccinated travel between Singapore and Brunei and Singapore and Germany. This pilot will allow us to test the system to ensure that we are able to handle the verification of vaccination and as well as the response should there be imported cases from this vaccinated travel. The pilot has done well so far. We have just about 1 case out of more than 1,000 arrivals, and therefore we are looking at
Minister,
how
what's the outlook for more VTLs? Can we expect for the US, for instance, to be included for this VTL?
Yes, we are in discussion with several countries and regions, including other countries in Europe, as well as the United States, and see how we can take this 1 step further. But it will require both sides to discuss how the arrangement will be and what's the process like. And we will be able to then begin the vaccinated travel with more countries. So we are in discussion with several countries, which will include Europe and US as well.
And that is by the end of the year, Minister?
We are hopeful that we will be able to do so by the end of the year or even earlier.
Is there a risk that Singapore could lose its competitiveness because countries, including the likes of Australia, are beginning to be more aggressive in its reopening? We heard from Prime Minister Scott Morrison, for instance, on Friday.
Yes, it is important for Singapore to continue with this journey towards COVID resilience, and it is important also to do so safely while preserving lives, because it is a very delicate balance between saving lives as well as preserving livelihood. And we are doing our best to make sure that we have a calibrated approach while we continue this journey of opening up. We want to keep Singaporeans safe. And if we can do so, then Singapore will be a very safe place for businesses as well. And Singapore's attractiveness goes beyond just COVID-19. With our extensive network of connectivity around the region as well as to the rest of the world, this will strengthen Singapore's position as a hub, not just for business as well as for people-to-people exchange. But it is important for us to therefore continue this journey of COVID resilience while developing the vaccinated travel lanes. So I think this is an important part. And with Singapore's as a business center, we will continue to be attractive for businesses to operate here.
Minister, despite an 82% vaccination rate, we have the US CDC deeming Singapore as a high-risk virus destination. Your take on that?
And it is important, therefore, as I mentioned, for us to work out the vaccinated travel lane, because in order for us to ensure that travelers are able to visit Singapore safely, I think a vaccinated travel lane is the way to go. And therefore, we are in discussion with various countries, as I mentioned, both Europe as well as the US, to facilitate vaccinated travel. For businessmen who are keen to travel to Singapore, to visit Singapore now, we also have flexibility to allow visits to come to Singapore. But it is important for them to be vaccinated. This will ensure that they are protected against severe diseases.
Minister, earlier we talked about how Singapore's population shrank 4% year on year, and a lot of the foreigners are making an exit. How do you think this will impact Singapore as a destination for businesses, as a destination for foreign workers?
I think Singapore will continue to be attractive partly because of our very strong and robust infrastructure that we have put in place that facilitate businesses to operate in Singapore. And at the same time, with our connectivity with the rest of the world, we will provide supply chain resilience to many businesses who operate in Singapore as well as different parts of the world. And at the same time, our efforts in protecting our people in Singapore will also give business confidence they can operate safely in Singapore. And with our efforts to continue to develop vaccinated travel lane, I think Singapore can continue to be attractive to businesses. And our businesses continue to do well, and we continue to see keen interest in investing in Singapore. After all, Singapore is in the heart of Asia.
Is there concern perhaps that industries such as finance, tech, as well as manufacturing may be impacted because of the exodus of foreign workers?
Partly, we are also looking at opening up our border for foreign workers to come back to Singapore, and we have already done so. I think recently the Ministry of Manpower announced a slew of measures to facilitate our foreign manpower to return to Singapore. And some of the Singaporeans who are overseas are also coming back to Singapore, and this will allow the Singapore economy to remain vibrant and to continue to prepare for the recovery of the economy post-COVID-19.
Might the shrinkage in foreign workers work in Singapore's favor, given that Singapore is looking to tighten the screws on foreign talent in the Lion City?
I think Singapore will continue to remain open. We have to continue to tap on talent from all over the world to allow our economy to grow beyond the restrictions or the confines of our borders, the limitation of our size. I think we will continue to be welcoming of foreign talent, but it is important for us to also be very focused, be very selective, and be very targeted, because we do have a limit of how many people we can have in Singapore, and therefore we need to look at what are the foreign manpower that will be critical to us, that will be needed by our economy. I think this will then work hand in hand and complement our local workforce to allow Singapore economy to continue to grow robustly.
Minister, I want to take a look at your upcoming trip to the U.S. What will be the priority? What will be top of the agenda? Would it be supply chains, for instance?
Yes, in fact, one of the key issues that we will be discussing with our U.S. counterparts is on supply chain resilience. I think COVID-19 has demonstrated that it is important to ensure that our supply chains remain intact so that our economy can continue. And also essential supplies like PPE or pharmaceuticals and vaccines can continue to flow freely. And therefore, supply chain resilience is one key topic. And Singapore is well positioned to play this particular critical role with our connection with the rest of the world and the region. We can play a very important part in this supply chain.
Just one final question. CPTPP, we know that China has made a bid to be a member. How do you view China's membership? Would you like the U.S. now to be a member, to be part of CPTPP?
Well, Singapore welcomes anyone who has interest in joining this rules-based, high-standard trade agreement, CPTPP. U.S., for example, was actually the key original architect of the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement. And if U.S. is interested in re-entering CPTPP, we'll be happy to discuss with them how that can be done. But we also have to bear in mind that whether it's China, U.S., or any other anyone that is interested in CPTPP, it will require the consensus of all the members of a CPTPP. That's the rules that set down in the agreement. So I think it is important for anyone who's interested in CPTPP to consult the various members to address their concerns and to get their consensus. And this is a way to enter into the CPTPP.